What is up, guys? Emmanuel Jones here with another video, and this time we'll be doing our Week 10 predictions. So last week I went 8-6, which I did really good, and also teams who are on bye week are the Bears, Bengals, Giants, and Texans. So yeah. So before I get started, just like and subscribe to my video, and don't forget to comment down your opinion below to see who are your Week 10 predictions are. So yeah. So we're gonna get started with this. Now, I chose the Ravens to at least win like 37-17, and they lost 22-10, which that was very embarrassing. But you know what? Let's get started with the rest of the games. All right. So now, first game, we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 10 points. Now, when I look at the matchup now, I can really tell that, this game can barely go either way. Now, on the Cowboys, now we're going to get to it. Now, the Cowboys offense, Dak Prescott looked awful in that game because, the Broncos defense was able to get pressure on Dak Prescott and they was able to blitz. So, yeah, they were able to do that, and their offensive line got totally blown up. On the other side of the ball, the Falcons offense had really played really good versus the Saints. Matt Ryan looked really good. The Saints almost won this game. They kept it very close because, the Falcons had to find a way to win. And I think this must be the best game of Week 9. So, yeah. But here's the thing. The Cowboys don't really match up well with the Falcons, really. I feel like this is a bad matchup for the Falcons because we remember the 2019 game because remember last year's game, the Falcons, the Cowboys barely won that game because, the Cowboys were looking very horrible on offense. They looked horrible that game until the Cowboys made a comeback. But you know what? I think their offense does play well this game. Because here's the thing. Because the Falcons defense, they're really not great versus the run. So I think Ezekiel Elliott, he's going to have a big game. And I feel like his offensive line is going to give Dak Prescott a lot of time. And he's going to find his receivers open. So, yeah. So I feel like Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb might have a big day. And hopefully Michael Gallup is back. So I believe he's going to have a big game. So, yeah. So the Cowboys offense will have a big game. And plus, the Cowboys pass defense has been playing really well. So I think that Trevon Diggs can cover Calvin Ridley and all that. So, yeah. But their safeties are bad. So, yeah, I don't know if they have somebody who can cover Kyle Pitts. So, yeah, but you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if they kept this game super close, but I'm going to take the Cowboys to win because they're the better team. They have the better quarterback and the better coach. So, yeah. And there's the better team. So, yeah. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win, but I will take the 10 points because I think they do keep this game closer, though, because the Falcons' offense has been playing really well for, the past couple weeks. So, I'm going to go ahead and say the Falcons do cover the 10 points. So, I don't know if I'm going to be betting on the game or not. So, I'm going to say the Falcons might cover the 10 points, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know what? The Cowboys didn't really cover because we know they got blown out by Denver. So, I'm going to take the Falcons to cover the 10, but I'm going to take Dallas to win this game. I'm going to say the Cowboys win 27-19. All right, next game, we have the New Orleans Saints versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans are favored by -3. Now, when I look at this matchup now, this game can barely go either way, though, because both these two teams have a really great defense. They both could have the best defense, though, because we seen what the Titans did last week. Their defense was playing really well, and they was able to get pressure on Matthew Stafford. Because remember, the Titans defense sacked Matthew Stafford 5 times. On the other side, the Saints defense has been playing really good recently. But here's the thing. The Saints almost won the game. Like they should have at least won the game though, because Atlanta was playing good. I mean, that could be the best game that Trevor Siemian ever played. But I don't really think Trevor Siemian is an aggressive downfield passer. Like, he's really not as great. Like, he's more like a bridge quarterback. So, yeah. But I think we could see a defensive game, though, because the Saints defense and the Titans defense is so underrated. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons, I mean, he's an animal. I mean, their 4-man rush was able to blitz last week. And their pass defense was playing really good. I mean, they picked up Matthew Stafford 1 or 2 times. I mean, yeah. Kevin Byard, I mean, he's probably one of the best safeties on the team. So, yeah. So I think with the Saints secondary, I mean, they both have a great secondary, but the Titans cornerbacks stink though. So yeah. So I think this Titans offense will have a big game though, because I don't really know how great their offensive line will be, but I don't really know who's going to be the factor in this game, because I know Julio Jones isn't playing, but I think A.J. Brown is going to be a factor in this game. So I feel like the Titans offense does have a big game, and I think they'll find a way to attack this Saints defense. I mean, yeah, but I think this game will be super close though. But I don't really know, because if Trevor Siemian, if he can play good, then I think they'll keep it close. But if he doesn't, then I think it's going to be a blowout. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Titans to win, because I just think they're just a more complete team. And also they're just have the better quarterback. And plus they're at home. So yeah. So I'm going to take the Titans to win, but I will take the points though, because I think they do keep it closer, because the Saints offense barely struggled in this game, but they didn't. They almost made a comeback last week. But you know what? I think the Saints defense, I think this game could be like a high-scoring game, but I don't really think so. It could be a low-scoring game with both defenses playing against each other. So, yeah. So, I think with Kamara being out, I think that could be a loss. But they also got Mark Ingram, who has been really great. So, I think the Saints offensive line. So, I kind of really feel like the Saints offensive line, I mean, it can match up well. I mean, they're going to have to block these 4-man rush up front. They're going to have to block this Titans pass rush in order for them to, like, have time. But I just feel like this Titans defense is going to cause the Saints offense and Trevor Siemian some trouble. In a lot of trouble. So, I think I'm going to say the Titans win 27-20. So, I'm probably going to go ahead and take the Saints to cover the points. But I'm going to take the Titans to win the game. All right, next game we have Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored by 10.5 points. Now, I won't spend too time long on this game, because we're going to get to this game. Now, Jacksonville, won the game last week. They really upset the Bills because, the Jags defense was getting pressure on Josh Allen. They really played really well. I mean, I didn't really expect that to happen, though. On the other side, the Colts, I mean, their offense has been playing really well recently. I mean, they've been starting to run the ball really good. I mean, I like how they're starting to run the ball. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's an animal. I mean, their defense is, like, really good. Like, yeah, I mean, Carson Wentz, I mean, he looked it really good versus the Jets. I mean, Yeah, I like how their offense played. So yeah, but you know what? I don't think the Jags are gonna pull this win off again. So, but I don't really know about this game being close. But I wouldn't be shocked that they kept it close. But I'm gonna take the Colts to win because they're just a better team, and I just think they have a better quarterback. They have a better coach, and they're at home, and they're just a better roster overall. They just have much of it, and also they're a top running defense. So yeah. So I don't really know I'm going to take the Jags to cover this game because Jacksonville covered though. They covered the whole game last week against the Bills. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did that versus the Colts, but I think it's going to be a little closer though. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Colts win 23-16. So I'm going to take the Colts to win this game and also cover. All right, next game we have the New England Patriots we have the Cleveland Browns versus New England Patriots. Patriots are favored by 2.5. Wow. Now this game right here is going to be very fun to watch, and it can go either way though because both these two teams are very talented. I mean, they both have a great offense and a great defense too. But when I look at this game though, it comes to the matchup though. But I kind of feel like this Patriots team is a bad matchup for the Browns, though. But you know what? I think the Browns do have the talent on defense, and I think they can match up with this Patriots team really good this game. I think they will because here's the thing: the Browns front seven is really good, and their secondary is really good as too. But you know what? I think this Browns defense. I mean, with Mac Jones, with the rookie quarterback playing against a Browns defense, I think this Browns defense is going to give Mac Jones and his Patriots offensive line some issues. So yeah, so I just really think that the Browns secondary. So I feel like their secondary is really underrated. So I think some of their cornerbacks will find a way to cover find a way to cover the Patriots receivers because I know the Patriots have a lot of cornerbacks in their secondary. Like I'm gonna say Denzel Ward can cover Jacoby Myers and probably have Greg Newsome can cover Nelson Aguilar and we'll probably have Greedy Williams cover Ankel Harry, and then we'll probably have I just kind of feel like though with the Patriots receiving core being stacked though, the Patriots offense can have a big game though. But the thing is, the Browns lost Jarvis. I mean, they lost Odell Beckham, but that's okay. We know that it wasn't as bad of a loss, what you think, but I still think the Browns offense is still good, and I think they can be able to score a lot of points because the Browns offensive line is really good, but the Patriots defense has been playing really good for like the past weeks. But we could really see this Patriots defense give Baker Mayfield a tough time. But you know what? The Patriots have a really good secondary. But the Patriots, they're really not great at stopping the run. I mean, with the Browns with their running game, I mean, with Nick Chubb, I mean, he could have a big game if he's playing though, but I don't really know because I heard that he's on the COVID list. Well, he might or might not play, but I don't know. Because without him, I mean, the running game is going to get worse because we already know that Kareem Hunt got hurt. So the run game gets worse because we seen them when they played against the Broncos. Their running game played really good, even though without those top running backs, even though without their top two running backs. So even without their top two running backs, I still think they'll find a way to run the ball. But I don't really think they're going to be able to do it in this game. But I don't really know if they're going to be able to pass the ball really good because they don't really got Odell though. But I think Jarvis Landry is like one of the best like slot receivers ever. Like he can find a way to like make big plays, like down the field. But the Patriots defense, I kind of feel like they will try to find a way to like force Baker Mayfield in some tough throws, and maybe they'll probably force him to throw the ball underneath and go down the field, which we can see him in this game. But Mac Jones, I mean, I mean, with the with Mac Jones playing well, I think this game right here could be close. But we can see the Patriots win this game. But I could see an upset. But you know what? I almost about to call it a trap game, and I know the game's in New England, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Browns to win because I just really think that when you look at the Browns, when you look at last week's game when the Browns played against the Bengals, the Browns defense played really good. I mean their pass defense was playing really good. They was able to take away Jamar Chase in that passing game, and they was able to like stop Joe Burrow, and they was able to get pressure on him, which that's good for this Browns defense. Now we can see them do the same thing in this game to Mac Jones. Like they can get pressure on Mac Jones and all that. But I know the game's in New England, but I'm taking the Browns here but I don't really know if I'm gonna bet on this game. But I think I will bet on this game though. But I'm gonna take the Browns to win because I just really think the Browns are just the better team. They have a better quarterback. So yeah, and they have as good as an offense and a defense. So I mean, there's no blame to that. So yeah. So I'm gonna take the Browns to win, but I will take the 2.5 though, because I think they'll keep it closer though. Because Mac Jones has proven me wrong, and he has been playing really good, like recently. I mean, they played really good against the Panthers last week. I mean, their defense played really well against Carolina, and their defense played really well against the Chargers, which that was a really good dominant performance that they had for like the 2 weeks. But we can see this Patriots defense make some plays, and we can see the Browns defense make some plays. But if this game gets defensive, then it's probably gonna be a low scoring game. But if it's a little bit offensive and defensive, well, I'm gonna say maybe in the middle, like maybe in like the low 20s or something like that. So yeah. So I'm gonna say Browns win 31-26, and I'm gonna say the Patriots cover the 2.5, but I'll take the Browns to win the game. All right, next game we have the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. Bills are favored by 12 and a half, favored by 12. Now I won't spend too much long on this game because we already know that the Bills lost to the Jags last week. I mean, here's the thing: they should have beaten the Jags last week, but but they but they lost to the Jags last week because they failed to score a touchdown. I mean, yeah, I mean that was bad. I mean the game really got ugly because both defenses were playing against each other, was playing really good. I mean, yeah, but I think what the Bills offense is gonna do, I think they'll find a way to make some plays. I mean, the Jets are just a bad team. There's no way I'm taking this Jets team to cover and I'm taking them to win because they're just bad. And plus, they don't have a quarterback because Zach Wilson is hurt. So yeah. So I'm easily taking the Bills to win this game, and I'm taking them to easily cover this game because they're just a more complete team. They're a better quarterback, and they have the better coach. But I'm saying if they don't win this game, then they are in serious trouble a little bit. So yeah, this is a must win for them. This is a must win for them, and it is a big bounce back win for them to get back on track. So yeah, so I take the Bills to win 35-13. So the Bills should be able to win, and they should be able to easily cover this game. All right, next game we have the Detroit Lions versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are favored by 10 points. Now, I won't spend too much long in this game either. Now, we already know that the Steelers, their defense was playing really great against the Bears. Like they almost lost to the Bears. Like the Bears defense played really well in that game. Like the Steelers, that's a game the Steelers should have lost. But the Steelers, their offense, they was able to make big plays and get in play action. They was able to do that on downs, which that was really good. But TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward, they have been really good. But you know what? I mean, the Lions, they're just a bad team. They suck. There's no way I'm taking the Lions, though. Jared Goff, versus the Eagles, he looked it bad. That Eagles defense really make big plays on them. But you know what? The Lions' offensive line is not great, so I think the Steelers' defense should be able to have a big game. And I think their Steelers receivers with Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Eric Ebron, with those weapons they have on offense, I feel like they're gonna make explosive plays. And I think Najee Harris, I think he's gonna make an explosive play. The Steelers, even without an O-line, I still think they'll find a way to run the ball against Detroit. So yeah. But the sad news is that Big Ben is not going to play because he's on the COVID list. So I don't really think the Steelers are going to be able to score a lot of points this game. But I could say this game might be a little sloppy or something like that. So yeah, even though without Big Ben, I'm still taking the Steelers to win. There's no way I'm taking Detroit to win and cover because they're just a bad team. Steelers is more talented. They have the better coach. So, yeah. So, I'm going to say Steelers win like 23-10. So, I think this game might be a little bit defensive, but I think it could be a little bit closer though because the Lions Jared Goff might play well against his defense, but I don't think he will though. I think their defense finds a way to score a lot of points in this game, but I don't know about their offense though. Their offense can too, but I'm gonna take the Steelers to win, and I'm gonna take the Steelers to cover. All right, next game we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Washington Football Team. Tampa Bay is favored by 9, but I won't spend too much time long on this game either because here's the thing. Now both these two teams are coming off a bye though, because they've been well rested. So we remember this game from the playoff game. Yeah, we know that Taylor Heineke kind of played really well against his Bucs defense, but they didn't really do enough to win. Now on the other side, the Bucs offense really struggled against the Saints because the Saints defense was able to get pressure on Tom Brady and all that. The Bucs kind of played good in the first half, but the second half it was kind of a little ugly, but it wasn't that ugly because here's the thing. The Bucs defense, their offense was playing really good because the Saints defense, they was able to blitz and they was able to take away the passing game and all that. So yeah. But on the other side, Washington's defense, their defense has not been playing well. It's been really dreadful for like the past like 5 weeks, like since the start of the season. Like their defense has not been playing really well, and plus they don't have a great offensive line. Yeah, they can't really blitz. Yeah, but you know what? I think the Bucs offensive line, it's probably gonna give Tom Brady time to find a way to shred this defense. I mean, Tom Brady, he's really great at torching defenses and exposing them. So I think he can do that in this game. So whenever they see weapons on the field, they can just give it to Mike Evans and probably Chris Godwin if he's playing. But I don't really know about AB and Gronkowski because they have been getting hurt. So yeah. Jordan Howard and Cameron Brate has been really great. Leonard Fournette, he's like solid. So I think this whole entire Bucs offense is gonna have a big game. So yeah, because Washington's secondary can't really defend that well, and their defense, it's really good, but it's been struggling. So yeah, but I think the Bucs defense is gonna give Taylor Heineke some issues and all that because the Washington's offensive line is atrocious. So yeah, so they can't really pass block and all that. So I don't really think Taylor Heineke is gonna, and I don't really think they're gonna keep this game very close though, because Taylor Heineke, he's really not an aggressive downfield thrower. So yeah, so I think the Bucs offensive line, I think they're gonna play well, and I think they're gonna find a way to block Chase Young and those other 4-man rush. So yeah. Because when the Bucs offensive line plays well, Washington's defense don't blitz or get pressure. So I think the Bucs will find a way to have a big game and score a lot of points. Because I don't think Washington's going to do enough on offense to keep up with Tom Brady. So that's the game the Bucs got to win. So yeah, but there's no way Washington will keep up. So I feel like Bucs defense makes some plays in this game. So I'm gonna take the Bucs to win, but I'm gonna take Bucs win 38-13. So yeah, so the Bucs should easily win this game, and they should easily cover. And this should be a really great bounce back win for Tampa Bay to win. Next game, we have the Carolina Panthers versus the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are favored by 10.5. I'm gonna keep this one a little short, though. I won't spend too much time on this game now. Now, when I look at the matchup, though, both these two teams are really talented on both sides of the ball. They both have really great receivers, but one of them don't have a great offensive line. They both have a great pass rush. They both have a great secondary. The Panthers, Sam Darnold didn't really not play well this game, but he got injured this game. But the good news is that they got Cam Newton back in Carolina, which that's great to see. But you know what? But this can be one of my trap games of the week, but I'm not gonna bet on this game anyway. But I kind of will bet on this game if Kyler Murray does not play. But I'm regretting that he will play. Colt McCoy has been playing really good, but he's really not as good as he used to be though. But he played really well against the Niners. And that Cardinals defense forced a lot of turnovers and made a lot of plays. That was a great dominant for them. But the Panthers lost this game against the Patriots because the Patriots defense was getting pressure on Sam Darnold, and they was able to take away their passing game in this game. But I think this game right here will be very close though. But I don't know if it's gonna be competitive though. But you know what? If it's both backup quarterbacks playing against each other, then I'm guessing the game's probably gonna be a little sloppy or low scoring. But I want to go with the Panthers here. But I don't really know if Cam Newton's gonna play. But they said that he might not start this week, but he might start next week. We don't really know. But even though without Kyler Murray, I'm taking the Cardinals to win because the Cardinals are just a better team. They're at home. So yeah, and also Kyler Murray's a better quarterback. So yeah, and I think they're just more explosive on offense because the Panthers on offense they don't have a lot of explosive abilities. So yeah, so I don't really know if Carolina's going to be able to keep up. But even if they do, then I think the game will be close. But I'm gonna take the Cardinals to win this game. But I think this game might be much closer. But if it's two backup quarterbacks playing against each other, then it's gonna be a lot closer. But since I'm predicting that Kyler Murray and D Hop will play, I think the Cardinals will win this game. But I'm gonna say Cardinals win 27-16. But I'm gonna say the Cardinals win this game, and I'm gonna say the Cardinals easily cover. All right, next game we have the Minnesota Vikings versus the LA Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3. Now, I kind of called it a trap game for some reason because some people were betting on the Vikings to win. But you know what? I mean, the Vikings, they have been playing really good recently. I mean, their defense was able to turn I think the Vikings defense, the Vikings got the defense figured out and they got it solved for like the past couple weeks. But the Vikings are like a bad matchup for the Chargers because we seen in 2019 game that the Vikings defense was able to take away the Chargers passing game and all that. So yeah, Kirk Cousins. He's been playing. He's a freaking baller. I like how the way the Vikings offense has been playing, but they still don't have an offensive line though. But you know what? I kind of feel like Joey Bosa, who is a really good player, that can really get after the quarterback. So I think the Chargers defense, the Vikings, they can't really run the ball really good, but so I think this means the Chargers defense will make some big time plays. So yeah. And the Chargers have a really good secondary though. With one of their corners they got Chris Harris, Michael Davis, and Asante Samuel. I think that one of their corners can find a way to cover Thielen and Justin Jefferson and all that. So yeah. But we can really see this Vikings defense give Justin Herbert a tough time, which they can really confuse Herbert. And the Charger defense can really confuse Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins really never struggles a lot. He plays really well in some games. But here's the thing. The Vikings, they have been competitive in one of their games, but they have not have been competitive of being the winner in some of their games. I think that's what the issue is with the Vikings game blown leagues. But you know what? I really want to take the Vikings to win, but I kind of don't really trust them right now because the Vikings, they just have collapsed. I mean, I thought they're going to get their season back on track, but they just collapsed. But I have no trust in them because they lost 2 straight games. They should have beaten the Ravens last week, and they should have beaten the Cowboys last week because their defense was playing great and Kirk Cousins was playing playing great. So yeah, but but I really want to see the Vikings win this game. But I think this game is going to be super close and high scoring. But this could be a really good shootout type game. But you know what? I'm probably going to take the Chargers to win because I just feel like the Chargers are the better team. They have the better. I kind of feel like Mike Zimmer. I feel like he's going to be on the hot seat pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers to win because they have the better. I just feel like they're just a more complete team. They're at home. And I just think they just got the better coach. Brandon Stanley is coaching really good right now. He's coaching a lot better than Mike Zimmer. So yeah, I think he has the best schemes more than Mike Zimmer does. But Mike Zimmer's schemes have been really tough. It's been really bad recently. So I think the Chargers win this game. But I will take the points though, because I think they do keep it close though. So I think Kirk Cousins, he's gonna find a way to like shred this Chargers defense, because the Chargers defense is really not great, but it's been playing. I mean, the Chargers defense sometimes does not play really good. So yeah, so I'm gonna say the Vikings. I'm gonna say Chargers win 31-27, but would I be shocked if Minnesota won? No, but I'm going to take the Vikings to cover this game, but I'm going to take the Chargers to win the game. All right, next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Denver Broncos. Broncos are favored by 3, so I'm going to keep this one short. Now, when you look at the matchup, the Broncos, their defense is like really, really underrated, because we seen what the defense did last week against the Cowboys. They was able to blitz. They was able to stop the run, and they was able to get pressure on Dak Prescott. And plus, their pass defense played really good. Now, on the other side, Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's been playing really good in some games, though. I mean, the Eagles barely almost beat the Chargers last week because, Jalen Hurts was playing good. The defense was playing really good in this game. And the Eagles had a great game plan. Almost had a great game plan, but they just didn't do enough to win. But the Broncos, with Teddy Bridgewater, I kind of feel like how the way he's been playing, I think he'll find a way to like thrive against his Eagles defense. I mean, the thing about the Eagles defense, I mean, they're not great at stopping the run, and they're not great at stopping the pass. So I think with the Broncos, with the C weapons on the field, I think the Broncos' weapons on offense that they have will have a big game. Whenever they see him, just give him to Jerry Jeudy, give him to Cortland Sutton, give him to Tim Patrick and Noah Fant. Both those players on offense are studs, and I feel like they're going to have a big game. So, yeah. And plus, Javonte Williams will have a big game, too. So, I think he'll find a way to, like run the ball and all that. So, yeah. So, even though the Broncos' offensive line stinks, I think the Broncos I think the Broncos will have time on offense to like pass the ball and probably run the ball. So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Broncos to win. And because they're just a more talented team, they have a better coach. So yeah. So I'm gonna take the Broncos to win, but I might take the 3 though, because I think they could keep this game closer though, because the Eagles last week kept the game close against the Chargers because Jalen Hurts was playing good. But you know what? I don't really expect this game to be close though, because sometimes Jalen Hurts never plays really good. But you know what? I'm gonna say the Broncos win 24-13. So yeah. So I'm gonna take the Broncos to win. I'll take the Broncos to cover. All right, next game we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Green Bay Packers. Packers are favored by 3.5. Now, when I look at this matchup, though, the game can barely go either way. But I don't really know if Aaron Rodgers is playing. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, I'm probably leaning towards the Seahawks. But if he does play, then I'm probably gonna lean towards Green Bay. But I'm presuming that Aaron Rodgers is playing this game. Now, when you look at this matchup, the Packers defense is so underrated. Like, they're really good at making big plays. But you know what? On paper, they match up well with the Seahawks really good. This is a bad matchup for Seattle because they have played the Seahawks really well multiple times. Because here's the thing. They have a great secondary. They got a great offensive line. They have a great defense. So, yes, I kind of feel like that the Packers defense is going to give Russell Wilson a tough time and cause a lot of problems. So, yeah, and they can cause the run game a lot of problems. But their secondary is very good. Like, they can find a way to, like cover the receivers. But But I know they don't got their best corner, Jar Alexander, which that sucks. But now they got Eric Stokes and Kevin King, which I think they'll find a way to cover Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf in this game. And their safety duels are really fast, which I think they'll find a way to like cover Gerald Everett in that passing game. So yeah. So I think this, but the Seahawks defense is really not great against the pass. Like they don't really have any corners who can cover receivers. But I don't really think they have much of a pass rush to like stop the run. So I feel like Aaron Jones is gonna have a big game, and I think he'll find a way to make explosive plays and all that. I mean, and I feel like the Packers' weapons on offense is gonna give the Seahawks defense a lot of problems. Like, cause I kind of feel like that Devontae Adams is a problem. So I kind of feel like that with Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Valdez Scantling. I mean, those receivers are going to have a big game. So, yeah. I mean, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to, like, thrive against the Seahawks defense. So, yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and just take the Packers to win because they're at home and they have the better quarterback. So, yeah. And I just think they're just the better team overall. So, yeah. I'm going to take the Packers to win. But I will say this game will be super close though. But I will take the 3.5 because I think this game will be close because Russell Wilson. I mean, because I'm referring that he's coming back. He's gonna play tomorrow. But I heard him saying that he's gonna play tomorrow. So yeah, so I feel like Russell Wilson. He'll find a way to like make some magic against his defense. So yeah, so I say it's gonna be a shootout, high scoring game type of way. So yeah. So I'm gonna say Packers win 34-31, but but would I be shocked if Seattle really pull off an upset? Nah, but we could really see this happen even if Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing. Because I know people are betting on the Seahawks to win and get their season back on track, but since their record's showing me that they're probably not gonna make the playoffs, I think the Packers do have a chance to win because they have a better chance to make the playoffs. But I don't know about Seattle though. But if they win, they could have a chance. But I don't know. So I'm gonna say Packers. I'm gonna take the Seahawks to cover the points, but I'll take the Packers to win the game. Next game, we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs are favored by 2.5. Now, I call this a trap game for some reason. Now, lots of people are betting on the Raiders to win because they think the Raiders offense is playing much better. Which the Raiders offense is playing much better because think about it. Derek Carr is actually playing better football than Patrick Mahomes right now. Because with Patrick Mahomes, with him playing bad, with him struggling, I mean, they're still winning a little like games with them struggling like that. Because now against the Packers, the Chiefs defense played really well though, because they took away Devontae Adams in that passing game. But their offense still struggled to score 20 points because, the Packers defense was starting to make big plays. But they didn't really do enough for them to win this game. Now, because, they had no turnovers in the game, which that's good. But I don't really know if the Chiefs offense is figured out. But I think the Chiefs defense must have got figured out when they played against Green Bay. Because in order for Kansas City to beat the Raiders, their defense is going to have to play extra hard. Like I feel like Darren Waller is a problem. And also added Deshaun Jackson to replace Henry Ruggs. So that's going to leave the Raiders offense with lots of speed. I mean, Hunter Renfrow could be a problem. So, yeah, Josh Jacobs can be a problem too. So, yeah. So we can see this Raiders offense attack this Chiefs defense, which the Chiefs defense, I mean, they're really not great at like pressuring quarterbacks and stopping the run. I mean, they haven't been blitzing and creating pressure for like several weeks because I kind of feel like what the Raiders offensive line is going to do, they're probably going to give Derek Carr time and he'll probably get rid of the ball really quickly. But the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Now, we can see the Chiefs offense play well with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Now, when the Chiefs offense attack, the Raiders don't blitz. Now, when the Raiders offense plays really good, the Chiefs don't blitz or make big time plays. But this can be an either way type game. Now, I want to go with the Raiders though because they're doing with a bounce back, but I'm probably gonna go ahead and take the Chiefs to pull off the upset because I really like how the way their defense played against Green Bay, and I liked it how the Chiefs offense didn't have no turnovers. So I think since the Chiefs are starting to get their season back on track a little bit, I'm probably gonna take the Chiefs to win because the Chiefs they have a better coach. So yeah, I know it's in Las Vegas, but it's just because Derek Carr is playing better football than Patrick Mahomes. I still think the Chiefs find a way to win this game, but I'm not taking the Chiefs to cover. But I'm gonna say Chiefs win 26-20. But I still think the game might be a little bit sloppy or something like that because their game was sloppy for like 2 weeks. But I don't really know they're gonna be able to do enough to score like 30 points in the game because Travis Kelce has been a little bit inconsistent, but we've seen him caught a touchdown against the Green Bay. But the Chiefs offense, they've been getting doubled a lot because a lot of teams were getting coverage. So yeah. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Raiders to cover the 2.5, but I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win the game. So that can hopefully get their season back on track. All right, next game we have the LA Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. Rams are favored by -4. Now, I'm going to keep this one short though. Now, when I look at the matchup though, both of these two teams are really talented on both sides of the ball. Because I kind of feel that that Kyle Shanahan and this Niners offense, in this defense, he has played well against the Rams offense. Against this Rams defense. But you know what? The Niners really beat them twice in like a row, like last year and the year before, because no, I kind of really feel that the Niners are a bad matchup for the Rams. Because when you look at the Niners defense, it's like really good. Like they'll find a way to blitz and all that. On the other side, the Rams defense is like really good. I like the improvement, what they did, and also, I don't really know if Von Miller's going to play because we know he didn't play last week. But on the other side of the ball, the Rams also added OBJ to the mix, which that was a great addition. But the same thing happened. But we already know that Robert Woods has an ACL, which he's out for the remainder of the season, which that's kind of sucks. But I don't really know if it's big of a loss though, because the Rams' offense is still good even without Robert Woods. Because Cooper Kupp is a stud, and Van Jefferson is really good. Tyler Higbee is really good. But their running game has been very solid, even without Cam Akers. Because the Rams recently been able to run the ball. Now the reason why, because they didn't really do enough against the Titans last week. Because the Titans defense was able to get pressure on Matthew Stafford. They sacked him 5 times. That's crazy. The Rams offensive line didn't play well this game. But the Rams defense played it kind of good, but they didn't really come back on the Titans, which that was really bad. But that game really got ugly, though. But we can see this go either way, though, because I feel like the Niners, they can barely pull off an upset since they're at home, and they can match up well with the Rams really good on paper. But you know what? I don't really trust the Niners right now because the Niners quarterback position stinks. Jimmy G looked awful last week against the Cardinals. That game got ugly, though. But you know what? I know it's in San Francisco, though, but I'm taking the Rams, though. I think the Rams get their revenge on the Niners after, I think they do after losing 4 times to them. So I just feel like the Rams are just a better team. They have the better coach. And I think they have the better quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest with me, Matthew Stafford is better than Jimmy G. So, yeah, so I'm probably going to go ahead and take the Rams to win. But I'm not going to take the Niners to cover, though, because we could see this game being close, but I wouldn't be shocked if they kept this game really close. Because if Jimmy G, if he doesn't play like garbage, then I think they do keep this game very close. So I'm predicting that this game might be a little closer than people expect it to, but I don't really know if it will. So I don't know really if I'm really gonna bet on this game for sure. So yeah. So I'm gonna say Rams win 31-23. So yeah. I'm gonna take the Rams to win, but I'll take the Rams to cover this game. And I believe they will get back on track after a tough loss. Because the Rams have a better chance to make the playoffs. And the Niners really don't, because when you look at their record, that shows you that their team may not have a chance to make the playoffs. Because I know they're not going to go anywhere with the current quarterback situation. So yeah, so I think this Rams defense is really going to give Jimmy G a tough time and give this offensive line cause a lot of problems. Well, we can see the same thing with the Niners defense. They can give Matthew Stafford some issues, and that can cause the Rams offensive line a lot of problems. But I don't really think it's going to happen. I think the Rams defense could have a dominant game against them, and I think the Rams offense will have a great game this week. So yeah, so I'm going to take the Rams to win, and I'll take the Rams to cover. Well, all right, guys, that's all of my Week 10 predictions. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments down below what you think your Week 10 predictions is. Like, do you think I'm going to be right, or you think I'm going to be wrong? So just let me know in the comments down below what you think. Well, as Emmanuel Jones from the Big Fan, thanks for watching. See you guys later. Peace.